Asante. Welcome back. On your screen there, Zuhura Asman from the Kenya Harlequins Queens, played the National 7 circuit. Zuhura, what a moment for her. And Naslin, both from Kenya Harlequins. Zuhura holding the Kenyan flag. And then Naslin holding the one from South Africa as the two teams come in. This is the big one. This is the big one that we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, it's been a long journey for both teams, especially for South Africa, because they do need to start their journey from here as they aim to find their way into the Division 1 and book a slot in the top 8 that will play in the 2027 season. Kenya, on the other hand, already qualified for Division 2, and this will always be an opportunity for them as we go through the national anthems.
For the Kenya national anthem, which will be done in Kiswahili. Tuendelee kusimama kwa heshima wimbo wa taifa wa Kenya.
Mungu nguvu yetu.
Goosebump moments there as the two national anthems ring across the RFU grounds here along Gong Road. I'm not sure the likes of Naslin and Zuhura, who are holding the two flags, felt there. It's wonderful to see young future girls who one day perhaps will be wearing the Kenya shirts, representing the country. At the moment, the two girls represent the Kenya Harlequins Queens. Big blockbuster action here. Two finalists again from the last tournament in Accra, in Ghana, meet again. I think in the tournaments that South Africa has won, most of their wins actually have come against Kenya. Elijah.
Yeah, in the last 4 tournaments, they have been meeting Kenya in those finals and overcoming them in all of them. They are going, South Africa going for their 5th consecutive title in the African Women's Sevens Championship. However, the hosts, Kenya hosting this one for the 2nd time, will have all to say with the only one to show, 1 win, 1 championship to show for all those years. That was back in 2018. South Africa, on the other hand, 12-time winners of 14 editions. Such pedigree. But this is what it has been building to for the last 2 days. And getting ready to kick us off is South Africa, the South Africa Women's Player of the Year. Nadine Roos with ball in hand, very experienced campaigner. We saw her in the Women's World Rugby Cup earlier on this year, especially in that quarterfinals they took on New Zealand. So a lot of experience in this squad from South Africa. Also, you have Ayanda Malinga and Zintle Mpufa together with Bahandre Dolph, who were in that World Cup campaign. Kenya, on the other hand, know how to beat. South Africa have done that in the Sevens Division 2, in the Challenger Series, and they will renew their rivalry here as we see first instance. And South Africa penalized for going off it in that track. Janet Okello stepping off her right, looking for support, wants to take out the whole team. Fends off another one. And this home crowd, the partisan home crowd here, up on their feet early on in these early exchanges. South Africa will look to shut down and silence the home crowd. They also have their own numbers here, Oscar.
They're well represented here, South Africa. Lots of support.
Moritu with ball in hand, swings it off to Sheila Chajira, the captain. Grace Okulu with that long pass that misses. Go to Naomi Amuguni, and it's danger times there. That loose ball just knocked on by South Africa.
It was a floating pass there towards the edge. Naomi just misses it out. But lucky for her, it went backwards, and then South Africa did knock on. Yeah, eventually was a knock on there by Shaniqua.
And it's getting loud. It's getting very loud here on the Ngong Road, the RFUA grounds that has hosted a lot of Sevens rugby tournaments, famously from 1996.
Sure Sinaida should be on that side of the scrum. Is that deliberate?
Must be very deliberate.
Must be deliberate, yes, to avoid that pressure of the scrum.
Press to Janet. Janet to Thrasher, the speedster, who's on to her very quickly, puts her to the ground. And the racks are being messy here, hustled by South Africa. Referee Precious Pazani from Zimbabwe awards that penalty against South Africa, calls them back to mark. Snyder has to take it from the mark. Precious Pazani, very experienced referee from Zimbabwe, played for Zimbabwe Rugby Women's, number of tests to her name, and also famously was the referee for England against Italy in the Six Nations Rugby Women's version earlier this year. So very experienced, one of those flagship referees for Africa in the women's version of the rugby.
Some really good tactical awareness here in terms of defense by South Africa. Nadine steps up into the defense.
Russia cleans out, but she's reeled in very quickly there by Maria Shiremba. Maria Shiremba has pace.
Good pace there, Shiremba. That's why she's starting.
Yeah, just reeled in fresher, like it wasn't anything not too much of hard work. Naomi Amdini with ball, steps back into traffic, attracts 3 of South Africans players And that ball will be taken if they're not careful. They have to protect that rack. They do so. Good work from the Kenya Lionesses. Muritu with ball, passes it to Snyder. Janet comes back in on a hard angle. Really, defense holding on strong here for South Africa. First man in, looks like it's a turnover. Yes, indeed it is. They swing it out to Roos, who is outnumbered on this flank. She rightly goes back to where she has the numbers. Ball goes now to that deadly ball carrier, who will step and go. Simamkle number, still taking time to bring her down. Then referee penalizes Kenya for not rolling away in the tackle. Quick tap and go.
I was just going to say, I think Kenya will have to put a sweeper on this one.
Now it's time for Kenya to defend.
Yeah, they got that one, I think. They got that one.
Sheila Chajira not taking the ball on the mark. Snyder, quick tap and go. Frenetic pace to this match. Grace Okulu with that Racing 92 contract. And then just being hustled in that rack. Kenya doing well so far in those racks. Frasher stepping in. Friends off. A retreating defender there from South Africa. Janet with ball in hand. What will she do? Tries to get past, but just gets mowed down. And so finally we get another break in play.
Yeah, I think Kenya can be a bit more patient here. Both teams, I think, very pensive. As we see, Janet here just needed some medical attention. I think she just, when she fell over that tackle, I think she hit her head, banged her head a little bit on the ground.
And she fell on the ball also.
I think both teams want a breather. I think she doesn't look too stable, Janet.
I think she fell hard on that ball. We'll just wait and see here.
Janet doesn't look too stable. She banged her head. I think she has to go out for HIA. No, she's not okay, Janet. Oh, no.
No, she's not okay. She's not fine, yeah.
She's just falling over. Janet is not okay here. She'll need some attention.
She's definitely concussed, and that will be a big, big loss for Kenya Lionesses.
I think that's the end of Janet Okello.
It's a hard fall. And as she gets medical attention, you can see there the Kenyan fans very highly supercharged, not wanting to go for anything less than the title here. South Africa with all to lose, but no, getting to the finals for them.
She can't continue. I'm sorry. I don't agree with this decision. Janet cannot continue. She has to get out. Edith Nariaka on the bench. I think Edith will come in now. She's not okay. I'm sorry, Toili. I don't agree. If they keep on the field, now they're getting out. Yeah. Sorry, I was just getting agitated there because she didn't look too good, Janet.
Yeah, after some break in play there to just assess Janet. She's adjudged not to be able to continue, and Edith Nariaka comes in, and there is a reorganization in the Kenyan backline. Snyder Nyachio goes into number 10. Grace Okulu moves further back into the center position, as Edith Nariaka's preferred position is at the base of that scrum. She's a top speed flyer, but they'll have to contend. Now coming in at a hard angle. Been doing this throughout the tournament. Simamkele number takes all of 10 meters to be.
Grace has that one.
To be stopped there. However, they recover it. They have numbers out here. They need to take it through the hands. Straightens and goes to the heart of Kenya's defense. Pinning her ears and going. Shiniqua Lamprecht goes over for the first try for the South Africa in Bokodo. Hitting first here just at the end of the first half.
It's a wonderful try there by Shiniqua. The Kenyan player seemed to hold back there when Grace was in the rack with the contest. I think she had a fair contest. The referee said it was okay. She could go and contest. They expected the referee to call for the penalty, I think. I think that's why they held back. But it was play on. Yeah. And then Shiniqua came out on the short side. Yeah, just a show and go.
And Nariaka just using her arms there. She should have just, again, also a bit guilty of over chasing there. Though there was an area of concern. There are two numbers out wide. But Shiniqua straightens and goes back against the grain, finds a gaping hole, and pulls South Africa ahead.
And most importantly, the try was scored under the post, so that's 7 points for South Africa.
Nadine Roos goes for the shorter kick. Barely into the 10-meter line. That wasn't a fair contest in the air. Sheila Chajira coming out worse from that, and the referee penalizes. Precious Panzani penalizes South Africa. Kenya Lionesses have enjoyed a lot of possession, but they have nothing to show, not even in terms of territory. They are yet to get into South Africa's 22. South Africa's defense has held firm as Sheila just goes into contact, waits for supporting player not coming in, appreciates the lows, puts the ball down, gets up, picks it up. Now they recycle, go out to Snyder. Snyder off that left foot, but he's brought down. This will be a turnover. First man in, contests well and turns it over. Asisifo, and then immediately put to deck, and it's a turnover again against South Africa.
It is relentless in the collision area here by both teams, and South Africa giving nothing away here in the collision area. Kenya have had their wins here as well, but South Africa are holding really strong here in the collision space. They're actually sort of interchanging here when they're defending Freshie at the edges. One time it's Nadine, and then the other time it's Chiremba, I think.
Yeah, Snyder picks it up, brings it out to Grace. Grace against Nadine. Tries to fend off Nadine, but chooses to offload it inside. They have to protect this ball, otherwise they're outnumbered. Namuguni does well. Namuguni does well to just retain possession. Now Moritu with ball in hand swings it out, losing territory, but they have speeds there. Edith Nariaka trying to take on Chiremba, but is brought down. And South Africa, I think for me this is a lot of dark art, slowing the ball down completely at every breakdown.
They are doing well. I think they have to do some tactical adjustment here from Kenya. They have to create some mismatches, I think. So on one end you may want to see Fresher because she's doing a lot of ball carrying.
Oh yeah, break there. She needs that support. That ball looks to have gone forward in that tackle area. That will bring the close of this first half. Very tight, very nervy, very anxious first half for the home side, Kenya. And they will have to work so hard to come back into this one. But, I mean, when you look at South Africa, you will think that they have done well on defense. They have slowed down Kenya's ball.
Yes, they have.
And they will continue doing that because it's working so far for them.
And fundamentally what they've done is they've tackled Freshia. They've really tackled her. They've made her work hard. On a normal day, Freshia would just be sprinting. But what they've done here is that they've made Freshia have to carry and then tackled her over and over and over.
This particular match.
That's a fair point. If we are matched in pace, then you have to use some tactics here. Looking at the bench from both teams, the Kenyan side, no substitution so far. South Africa, yes, Chiremba comes out. It looks like Chiremba is out.
Yeah, changes even on your screen there. Those are some who have scaled the heights to have a better aerial view. You will say a drone's view of this particular match. And they are not missing out on anything. It's been a tight first half. Kenya barely out of their own half. They're conceding that one try that separates both teams.
Patience Mokone has come in here, and the very experienced Bianja Dolph also is in.
Yeah, changes being made there on Kenyan side. It's still the same, except for Nariaka, who had to come in for Janet Okello, an enforced substitution from that injury. Strong ball carrying by South Africa straight into Kenya's half, and then being hustled there. Nadine Bruce being hustled very well by Edith Nariaka. Small body, but packs a lot of rocket energy in her. Takes her back a couple of meters. Now, strong ball carrier hits, big collision there from Simamkle Namba. Has been a bruising ball carrier and sets up a proper platform for South Africa to attack, spreading the ball out wide to the second part of this pitch. Moritu goes into contact there. Does well to referee Precious Pazani asks her to release the ball carrier. Then he's swinging it again. End-to-end stuff here. No breathing space for the Kenyans defense. They are being put to task, being put to duty. Oh, fending off Snyder and then offloading.
Elijah, I'm just going to say the substitutions here from South Africa are making light work here, are making Kenya work really hard on defense. And Nadine Lewis.
Oh, this is going to be a try.
That try.
Yeah, this one goes in for first try in this match for her. Simamkele number. South Africa have put Kenyans to the ropes here. No break, I mean the breakdowns are there, but no break in play. Quick recycling of the balls. End-to-end stuff.
So this is what happening. Shinikwa left the field, and then on one end entered Zintle Mpufa. So on one end of the field, you're seeing Shimankele Namba carrying the ball really, really well and bringing in about 3 or 4 Kenyan defenders. And then on the other end of the field, Zintle Mpufa, again, a substitution, by the way, at halftime, and that is throughout the tournament, making life really hard for Kenyan defenders. So it takes about 3 or 4 defenders. And then in the middle of the field, you have Beande, Dolph, and of course, the ever-imperious Nadine Ruiz, just making life very easy for the fresh scorers at the end. You're seeing the try scorers there, but there's a lot of work being done at both edges of the field. I think Kenya have to do some substitutions here. And already Maureen Murutu is out, and Faith Livoy has just come in. Again, you have to equalize this firepower that South Africa brought from the bench.
Yeah, those channels that they out, rightly so observed, Oscar, have been very bruising areas for the Lionesses. Naomi Amdini with a line break, looking for support. Nyachio, that is very cheeky from Nadine Ruz, jumping and falling over on the Kenyan side of the rack. Referee says play on. Now Edith Nariaka to the speedster. Frashia just checks back in.
Again. She's on the floor.
Going on the shorter side, but knocks it on. Faith Livoy coming in, and it was there, but just too eager.
Yes, she was, Faith. She wants to help her team. She wants to help the team. But again, I repeat, tactically, they're making Freshia do a lot of work on the floor. You don't want to have your winger on the floor tackling or being tackled. You want your winger on her feet, running. Or chasing kicks. And then again, it's what they do again, keeping it fresh. What do South Africans do? They bring in a Yanda Malinga, a winger, by the way. Yanda Malinga plays also 15, wing in the 15th side rugby, and she's at the center. And then outside there is Mokona. This is Mokone rather. This is speed on speed. Fast receiver there is Branda Dolph.
Yeah, changes being made also on the Kenyan side. Out goes Grace, and just a realignment in the back line there. But Grace Okulu leaves after doing a lot of hard work.
So just watch this, Elijah. Putting the ball in, he's there. Nadine Ruiz, first receiver, here plays number 15.
Yeah, referee penalizing them for illegal scrummaging. Nadine with a quick tap and go, wanting to apply the screws on Kenya's defense here. Malinga goes straight to the defense line, and then pumping and Patience Mokone brushes one, evades another tackler, and silencing the home crowd with their third try with slightly over 2 minutes remaining. The class showing from South Africa. And they put in their third try.
So I was just making the point there, Elijah, that Nadine Royce was putting the ball into the scrum. Outside her, all the 3 players are backline players in 15s, and all of them were fresh off the bench. So the speed to burn. But on the other side, we had Kenyan players who were still huffing and puffing. I think Grace just left. And then there you had, I think it was Patience Mokone or Naomi Amuguni, who has played almost every minute.
In the forwards and has gone to the wing after Nelly Chikombe came into the forwards. But again, that is what has happened, because in the semi-finals, the starting 7 for Kenya played throughout. There was no substitution. And same players coming to start this one. Whereas in that semi-finals, South Africa by the first minute of the second half had done a couple of substitutions, so keeping their bench fresh, and it's really showing in these finals.
On your screen, Patience Mokone, take nothing away from the Springbok 7's team here, or the South African women's team. Take nothing away from them. They've done really, really well. There's a good balanced approach here from the team.
Snyder Mokaya coming in hard and strong, and that was an almighty collision with Zintle Mpufa. Zintle Mpufa, very experienced, plays for Bulls Daisies back in South Africa, but was there in the World Cup 2025. She's also an Olympian, having been in the Olympics back in Paris, and one of the few players to have played a trade in England playing for Exeter Chiefs women. So a lot of class here in South Africa's lineup and a lot of hard work for Kenya. Frashia always wanting to carry the team. Faith Livoy with a strong carry, offloads in the tackle, swings the ball out wide. They have numbers 2 on 1. If they can, maybe Chikombe can have that ball out quick enough. Edith Nariaka tries to jump back in, does well, but Ruse all over her. This one might be a maul, and it is called so by Precious Pazani, the center referee. It's a turnover. South Africa snuffling and squeezing the life out of Kenyan's attack.
You talked about dark arts. There was a ruck there at some point for Kenya, and then Ayanda Malinga just coming right at the edge of whether that's from the side or that's coming from the gate. I think she used the entrance between the window and the gate. And South Africa playing really well here. This is really disciplined approach from the South Africa team.
Yeah, it's all down to their defense work. They have really worked hard on defense. Shut down Kenya's attack, sprinted up and ensured there's no space for Frashia to work with. And then they have packed their backlines with sufficient pace. Any line breaks have been stopped. We saw one from Naomi Muguni stopped. We saw a couple from 2 maybe also from Frashia, which was stopped. So cancelling out the speed threat from Kenyan's backline. And that leaves Kenya scoreless as the hooter goes. This is all over for Kenya, unfortunately for them. But good showing from South Africa. They will book the ticket to go into Division 3 later on, January next year. Malinga sizing up Nariaka, tries to fend her off, but very feisty tackle there from Nariaka, puts her down. South Africa still playing, I think just wanting to ensure that it is just a psychological victory. Kenya has been having the better of them in the last 3 or so contests, but today they want to ensure that they keep Kenya scoreless. Coming in there and stopping that ball from getting to Malinga at the wing, and then looping around from that track, carrying it into contact. Simam Clay offloads to Malinga. Malinga jumps back in, doesn't have the side mirror. Nariaka comes in hot, puts her down.
I think that was Krista Belindo.
Yeah, Krista Belindo, yeah. Oh, quick tap and go there, and applying tightening screws there on Kenya's coffin. This is another try, the 4th one. Kenya losing big time here against South Africa. They have been clinical, Oscar.
That picture on your screen there just tells the full story.
Yeah.
There's a Swahili, urban Swahili saying, Kubali Aishe. And it looks like even the fans wamekubali.
Yeah, we've come up against a well-polished, well-oiled South African team, very focused and shutting out Kenya with all that attacking threat. That conversion sails out wide, but it doesn't matter. South Africa win the 2025 Rugby Africa Women's Edition. This one is the 14th edition, and they add to the 12 that they have won previously, make it 13, and they remain at the apex of the women's African sevens rugby.
They have won every final that they've played in. The South Africa sevens team, the women's here, in every country they've visited in this continent, they've played in every final and won every single match. I mean, that is a fantastic record to have. Kenya, on the other hand, they may rue their chances, but to be fair to them, they were well taken care of here by a well-disciplined South African defense.
Yeah, I mean, South Africa, hands up, hands down, better side on the day, better side on these finals. Kenya had nothing to offer in terms of attack. There were no clear line breaks, only 1 or 2. But when you put that on the reverse, South Africa were very good with ball in hand. But their defense really worked for them. And just looking through the roster of the South Africans, of course, they have heavily relied on the likes of Nadine Roos to get them where they are now. And then we had the bruising ball carriers in Simam Clay Namba, very strong. Zintle Mpufa, very strong ball carriers. Those are people who have really turned out for them.
Yeah, they made a difference when they came in.
Yeah, they just maintained the tempo.
they were absolutely ruthless. I know Kenya can also rule, missing out some two crucial players. The likes of Judith Akumu, former captain, who herself is going through an injury recovery.
Yeah, big loss for Kenya.
Sharon Auma, who does take care of the speedsters here.
Yeah.
The likes of Maria Shiremba. Scored a couple of tries on Shiremba, actually.